button here, and this button here. Welcome, one and all, to what it is the finale of an epic adventure that has spanned, how long now? Do we know exactly? I
Long enough.
Honestly speaking, I agree. Forever. I could probably look up when the first adventure happened.
A duration of time lost to the ages.
I'm mostly just hoping that Charles is here so I can kill him.
That would be one of those things.
He just shows up for no reason. Hey, I heard you need assistance. Ah!
I mean, honestly speaking, this is the 86th episode that we've done. So I mean, that's a heck of a thing. Gone through a lot of them. But yes, it's Legacies of Caine. It's time for the finale. Vampire the Masquerade adventure that has spanned the globe, met many a character, and we're gonna kind of dive in today. And I think when we say we're diving in, we're going into Iraq. I believe that's the correct one. I'm so bad with Middle Eastern countries sometimes. And we kind of like have our group move in to a van that's traveling across the desert towards the ruins of Babylon.
Oh my god. If we have to sleep in this van near our destination, we'll be living in a van down by the river.
Thank you.
I'm not giving you it. I'm not giving you it. I refuse. Nope. Not happening.
Oh, you better hope we don't have to sleep then.
Anyhow, so yes, our group is in a stuffed up van. It's one of those kind of like more multi-seater person vans rather than, creepy white vans that are oftentimes linked to crimes.
Actually? Oh my gosh. So, Legacies of Caine, Episode 1, was September 18th, 2018. That's when it was released on YouTube, so it was probably about like a week or so before that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Jesus.
So
Three?
It's
3 years for a year and a half's worth of episodes. It's not great. I'm gonna announce that right now.
Hey, 3 years for a year and a half's worth of episodes is basically every other week.
Yeah. And lots of games do run every other week instead of every week.
Yeah.
And also, Mr. Negative Nancy, that's 3 years for one and a half worth. But we kept going through how much shit.
Yeah, that's true.
There were so many times this game could have ended up just going, and it didn't.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take that as a positive.
I can agree on that one. That's a pretty good positive take on the entire thing. So yes, so in of course this car is our group of characters. Then there is of course Yeezy, Lapis, Detective Gerhardt, and Meredith. I almost remembered that one. It was on the tip of my tongue, but thank you. And then, of course, Meredith's friends, Duth, Samantha, Father Cortez, and Cassandra. Who are...
looking for an opening to step us in the back.
I'm sure that they would not have any preference on where they stabbed us.
Probably not.
Fair.
What is your plans once you arrive at the ruins of Babylon? The excavation, as it is. It is a little out there, but with your arrival in I think we said you came Baghdad. Your arrival in Baghdad, you should be able to reach it with time to spare, certainly, before having to worry about the evening or the night ending. Plus, it's probably easier to get to a place where there may or may not be issues late night.
suppose we could just take the chalices and walk around and hope they react to something.
Or we could ask Yeezy where the ley lines meet.
Oh, yeah, that's a much better idea than mine.
Or Meredith.
Mhm.
She might know.
Meredith. Okay. Meredith's like, I what's the ley line? Easy's like,
Yeah,
when we get there, I can read the lines. It'll take a little while to get down in the earth and feels the things up. I'm gonna be like chilling and vibing and going, woo!
Were you born like this?
Hey Ryan, can you sense the
Anyone else feel uncomfortable with the idea of easy feeling up the earth?
Very. Yes, very. There's a reason I asked if he was born like this. I have serious concerns of his upbringing.
Yo!
As long as we don't tell Plods the terrain, we should be fine.
That's good. Ryan will comment with that. Well, I could try to commune with the spirits. Normally Great Lord Cockroach is really the only one I can speak with. I could see if there's any others around that might be interested in talking, but that would be the best bet for trying to read that kind of stuff. I usually rely on, others to do that kind of thing. Some of the, like Walks on Earth's really great at finding that kind of stuff.
So it's up to Yeezy and his feeling up the ground.
I can try to help him.
Yeah.
Please do.
Unless, Detective Gerhardt, you'd be able to, indicate where some ley lines meet.
The energies of the earth are not fun that my kind normally dives into the same way as your spiritual associates there. Not that I might not be able to do so, but it sounds as though the mage and the roachman would be much more likely to be able to read it quite fast. Lesser spirits like the ones the roachman would be communing with are very much more in line with the energies, especially when they seep into the earth in these areas. And the mage, well, as eccentric as he is, their kind are much more in tune with universal energies. It's what makes them both comical and dangerous.
Alright, well...
Hey! That's what I was always known as! Comical and dangerous! I don't know why everything thought I was so funny. Candy said that's what I was?
Mm-hmm.
I thought she just meant I could tell a funny joke when I'm shooting my piece at folks.
Leslie's just standing there with, like, the largest expression of suffering you've ever seen.
Leslie, perhaps you could, find the, Hanging Gardens. The directions appear to be on my cup.
If it gets me away from here, then gladly. Hand it over. And, I'll take a look at the cup and try and match it to my memory of the, my memory map from the model.
The unfortunate thing is that, like, the model here and isn't a model of the ancient city of Babylon. Babylon had its own set of hanging gardens, which vampire lore would give you that the Babylonian version of the gardens was a mock-up of the one that was originally in Enoch, that kind of thing, that it was an attempted recreation. It doesn't. That means that there probably was vampiric influence in the city, as it was it was after the second city that Babylon rose. So you could possibly use some of that knowledge to see, like, where the influence in vampires was. It's an unfortunate thing that the ruins of Babylon are pretty ruined. There isn't a lot of it, and a lot of it hasn't been excavated. So it's a lot of, like, guessing work instead of searching around. You can attempt it, but it will be both time-consuming, and I will require you to make I guess... Oh, let's take a look at what I want you to roll. I would say probably intelligence, investigation, maybe. Yeah, intelligence investigation. Just to kind of, like, see what you can tell here from what's been excavated around the area and recovered.
Is this roll the one that would take time, or
this would take time because you're going to be looking around for sure. It's sort of like there is no like easy guesswork because of
Could he? So we're supposed to be finding the Dread Palace of Gamal, right?
yes and no. The model kind of pointed out a location worldwide. The Enoch is not here technically. This is where
the model is of Enoch. This isn't Enoch.
Yeah. The basically you were told like you found the model. You used the model to triangulate like some information that was able to tell you a location. Basically, each of the cups told you, look at these 3 places in the model, and then kind of like triangulate them together, and this is where you're looking.
Actually,
Okay.
On second thoughts, I don't think this will do much good. The model that I saw was of Enoch itself. Babylon being merely just a faded representation of it.
Yeah, there are some walls. There is some like street, like foundation areas that have been dug out.
As much as I hate to say it, I believe the mage may be our best option. Unless Lapis, being one of the Fae, do you have any connection with the spiritual energies that might be able to help as well?
My kind don't necessarily dive into it the same way that I think our good friend Yeezy here does. Different Fae have different abilities. Different of the of the kith have different abilities.
I admit I am woefully under knowledge regarding the abilities of Kith.
Well,
Oh, I forgot all about that. Thanks, Worm. It's because just as a side note, it's because it might not happen to me, but people do like hate raid stuff to people that are offline, so it's a kind of better safe than
okay.
sorry.
You said it to.
It's better safe than sorry. Yep.
Okay.
Until something is done about that, I feel like it's a smart thing just to be safe rather than sorry, even though I'm not one of the people that normally would be targeted. I don't trust the world, unfortunately.
Understandable.
So, that's why Lightning was being weird. He could have disabled it too. He's a mod. Lightning! Anyway.
True.
To correct my stupidity. It's a fucking... lost my mind. Anyway, Yeezy's gonna get to work trying to read stuff with Ryan's help.
Like I was gonna say, Lightning was sitting there jamming out with emote only.
all right. Well, while these two are communing with nature or feeling up the earth or what have you, rest of us, let's get settled, make sure that we are ready for any eventuality. I'm going to direct 2 of the hunters. If you brought any defensive materials or other structures, please go ahead and start setting those up, and I'll point at the father and whoever's left. And if you could start setting up some food for those of you who need it.
Remember, we have essentially zero idea of what we may actually be facing here. We have the words of a prophecy, how many millennia old, that tells.
We also know
essentially
that this is where ley lines meet, and apparently that's where potential werewolf cairns are.
Please don't say that. I don't want to fight more of the black spiral bastards. I really don't. If they show up, I'm going to be rather upset. I'll have you know this now.
Leslie, please continue with your investigation of the area.
Okay. Leslie, I can say you could be looking around.
I'm also trying to get them used to listening to me.
Sure. They're going to go along with it for now, obviously. It seems like they were planning on setting up some kind of defensive area, too. They're chatting a little bit with Meredith, it seems like, figuring out what's going on. Ryan's, as I said, helping out easy. Lapis is kind of hanging around with them. Detective Liebner is keeping to himself right now. It seems like he's just kind of watching and waiting at this point in time.
I guess with nothing else to do, I might as well make that check.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead. Oh, I had it back up for names. Alright,
Oh, wait, what difficulty was it? I should have asked before.
It's enough to get a good idea. Certainly there is areas of the street that the unfortunate thing is, this is not the entire city. You know, you have the area that's been excavated, some, like, ancient walls, and, like, some areas that have been marked off and things like that. Certainly, like, there is an area where the Hanging Gardens are supposed to have been, but it's pretty nothing. So it makes it very difficult. But as you kind of, like, look around there, you can see that, like, honestly, this is something that's interesting, is there is some similarities in the way the city is laid out to the way that Enoch was laid out. Granted, there are some differences still, but it looks as like there might have been some influence of vampires here, at least in the design phase of things.
Can I do anything with that, or?
You could try to, like, hone in on an area where maybe you would think something is, but unfortunately it's, like, it's very guessworky. And it is still a large area.
In the absence of any better ideas, I'm just going to try and find the 3 things that Chalice has pointed to, if I can find them. If not, whatever.
Yeah, you're trying to, like, re-triangulate things and see if there is, like, something that matches up. Okay.
Yeah.
Emil, are you doing anything in particular right now?
Honestly, probably keeping an eye out for stuff to see if, make sure nothing approaches us from any direction, as unlikely as it may be.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And Nathan, you're just going to hang around the area, or are you doing anything in particular?
I am basically trying to establish my leadership.
Okay.
Get them used to following my instructions, because I'm giving generally good ones.
Yeah.
Stuff that they won't argue with too much.
Okay. I'm just gonna check something here. Okay. I must move my drink slightly out of the way because it's in the way. Okay. So,
It's a dark day, and Enoch and Hunter start listening to us.
I mean, no, it's night.
Shut up. I swear to God.
Nathan,
Caine.
as things are kind of busy being set up and stuff, and you've kind of given out your orders, you'll notice something kind of out of the corner of your eye for just a second. It looked as though, like, maybe you saw something in some of the ruins. There's just, like, a bit of movement. Could be nothing, but you just saw something. And again, like, you don't have any kind of dark vision, so this was in the, like, the low lights from the van and stuff.
I didn't notice anything? Wait, that was me?
No, Nathan noticed it. You did not notice
Okay.
anything.
Detective Liebner, I believe
Yeah?
there might be something interesting over there. Would you accompany me to find out what it is?
Sure.
I want to head over in that direction.
Okay. It's like an area where the foundations have been kind of dug out, so it's kind of like you kind of have to move down like a little like incline into the lower areas, and it is a little maze-like. Yeah. When you get down there at first, it seems kind of quiet. I guess you have like a flashlight or something.
Yep.
Okay. Just give me a quick perception alertness. Got it right.
Okay. That's the one that I have.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you take a look around, and it seems quiet. For you look around for a few minutes, and then you look around a corner, and there's a glowing sign that says Nathan on it. That's got like an arrow sign pointing a direction.
I'm gonna turn to.
It's got like some lights blinking.
I'm gonna turn to Detective Liebner. Do you notice anything unusual in this area?
Someone wants to see you.
Mm-hmm. But the mage we came with is back there still, correct?
Everybody else is back there. No one else has followed us.
All right. Would you be kind enough to accompany me? Hopefully to ensure that I can return.
I do not think I am the one that is wanted, but I'm sure your fan would have not given a sign if he did not be okay with that.
Alrighty. Leslie, I'll be back in a bit.
Yes, darling.
Alright, I'm gonna go towards the sign.
The sign will lead you through this kind of maze of ruins, which kind of twist and turn for a while, and it definitely makes it difficult for you to understand where you kind of are looking for, where you're going. It gets maze-like until you get to a point in time where around a corner is what looks to be like ancient hovel, bright as day with lights, with these what look to be like spotlights in front. That are kind of going to the sky. And a big sign that glows over top of it saying, "Welcome." This is a very odd thing. I think we have wandered slightly away from where we wanted to be.
In the sense of away from the physical realm? Or away from our senses? Or just geographical?
Perhaps all three.
All right. Given your description as odd, I'm guessing you've not encountered something similar before?
I can't say that I have in my current incarnation. Then again, as I have said in the past, my memories of the older times are scrambled. chunked. So I very well may have encountered something like this before, in the past life.
I imagine it probably did not have the spotlights going.
No. Probably a little more fire and excitement that way. So the spotlights might have existed. There are some very weird things out there. Just, they would not have looked so electrical.
Yes. All right. Can I still feel my allies? Am I still getting a vague sense of their...
You're not really getting a vague sense of anybody else in the area. It seems... Because this is very odd. It's in the middle of this, like, maze of ruins is just a, like, fully furnished house. Like, in amongst these, like, wreckage of, like, foundations and stuff that have been dug out.
Episode 86. Nathan dies.
That's one of the options from the prophecy. Actually, that's two of the options. One from yours and one from mine. All right. Well, in we go.
You'll kind of, like, walk in, and to the side will be what looks to be a check-in station of some kind, with a small child there, just dressed in like a simple, like, long gown that'll be like, "Hello, may I take your coats?"
Vasilisa. It's not Vasilisa, is it?
No.
Okay.
Welcome.
That's one person that it can't be.
Mm-hmm.
I hope.
Your may I take your coat?
I don't have a coat.
You're wearing a coat.
No, I'm wearing a cloak. Well,
Your cloak is somehow turned into a coat, like a trench coat.
is it at least a nice one?
Yes.
Okay. What would you like to do with my coat?
Hang it up. It is what's appropriate. You are guests. I am to take your coat.
Right.
The eye,
Take
which
off
is
my
me,
coat.
is the one that takes the coats.
Guy, which is me?
The eye, which is me.
Okay. I'll take off my coat and hand it to the little child.
Like, hangs it up on, like, there's a coat rack in there. Just like a normal coat rack. Wooden one. The detective Liebner will do the same.
Did you wear that coat in here?
I always wear a trench coat. It's the detective thing to do.
Fair enough.
I think before I was me, when I was younger than me, I thought it just looked cool. And I admit, it's hard to remove a style once you are the new you.
I can certainly understand that. Thank you for taking our coats.
Please walk inside. Welcome.
I will walk inside.
The other me's are waiting for you.
Oh, lovely. I will walk inside.
You'll pass through like a kind of small hallway, leading into a large room where there is...
Is this, by the way, the same house that was in the dream landscape place? Just, not entirely made of stone?
Different. There's some similarities, certainly, I will say.
Makes sense.
It looks as though there's like about a dozen small girls that all look exactly the same, dressed the same way, and most of them seem to be busy doing stuff, playing with small objects. Two of them are like rolling a ball back and forth. One of them is eating what looks to be like a bag of cookies constantly. Another is sitting at like a chair, what looks to be a kind of like one like a small like a chair that's small at a like low table with like stools around it, and with like looks to be like a tea party setup. Please sit down.
And we'll come in, bow, hat, and sit down.
Mm-hmm. Welcome to our playroom. My playroom. I wouldn't have invited you if you hadn't pushed things this far.
Thank you for the invitation.
Of course. And they all say together, "We are glad to have you here."
If I understand correctly, I should thank you for your hospitality a few months ago as well.
There's a wry smile. We enjoy leaving things that are fun. But you have taken your joke much farther than ours. This is an opportunity to back down, as would say. We are not amused by your constant pushing. What you seek has been protected.
Makes sense.
Your meddling may have caused things to awaken early. I have found my existence. I have no need for the madness that others would bring. As there's a wry kind of... the smile across the child's face when she says madness is quite creepy.
And so, what do you wish of me?
Give up your foolishness. Leave this place before you find what you are looking for. There is no need of you.
Ah. Why not?
I have told you. It is protected.
If I continue, will it no longer be protected?
One of three things will happen if you continue your course. One,
Interesting.
there will be a new protector. And she's just going to point that one finger at you.
Did you say a new protector?
Yes, there will be a new protector. And then, like, the one finger, and then points it straight at you.
Or?
Two. This is another one will say this and kind of, like, walk up next to you. The darkness you seek to prevent will occur at your own hands. Or three. The world will end from the ways that you know it. Your opponents have been read and judged. They have the best intentions, but they are not the ones that need to find what you are looking for. Yet they still follow you into this place. The two that are playing ball will say together as they roll back and forth, "They are coming."
And if I back off?
They will not find anything. You have both the lock and key with you.
understood their form. I have but 3.
You must make your choice, Nathan. We have given you warning. We would not see so amusing an individual face ruin, but ours is not to interfere in this case. We only merely stepped in because you used our back door.
I'm not going to think through the implications of that.
A bunch of them will, actually, not the one that's sitting with you, but a bunch of the other ones will start snickering in unison.
To clarify, what will I find should I continue?
An ancient secret left over from a time of old. Something hidden away that could spell the doom or salvation of us all. They were just 4 of us privy to it, that were not the creators. The one who guards, these different ones will say this. The one who's dead. The one who watches. And myself. The one who blocks the way.
Who is the one who guards?
It is not for me to say who is who. Any secret given will be a hint at the secret that is hidden. So I will say no more. But that is what is down there, hidden below the sands. Something that perhaps will bring about the Gehenna you seek to end, to prevent. The all-out war. A powerful peace. Again, they're kind of going to switch between them as they're speaking. Kind of creepily. Something that could change the fate of everything. The old ones have been awakened. We are awake. We have always been awake, though. There are others that sleep. Maybe they should be left to sleep. Still, nonetheless, we enjoy, and again they're all going to say in unison, the madness. It is fun. It keeps us satiated.
And so, the 3 options you outlined were that I would become the protector of this secret, or darkness would come, or everything as we know it would end. Correct?
Darkness would be if those that follow you would gain control of it. I see them misusing what they seek, even if they have the best of intentions. Your intentions have been strangely altruistic. You're not one to normally stick your neck out this way. Perhaps the others. The temporous one has influenced you too much. love? We have found love.
Did not catch that last sentence.
Oh, love? With a question mark. We have found love.
Huh. What's love got to do with it? Got to do with
I am
it.
fucking glaring at you so goddamn hard right now.
Somewhere you get this sense of feeling that you have to like glare in a direction. You're like,
Yeah,
Nathan, a
Leslie
sense of
his head just whips around and stares into the darkness. He
Nathan.
knows something was just uttered that should not have been.
Seriously, though. What's love got to do with it?
That is for you to answer, Nathan. We have warned you. We have asked you to stop. But we will not interfere if you decide to continue. You only know that your decisions will have ramifications either way.
That's true. That's been true for the last, I don't even know how many years.
But would you make decisions for all of us?
You counsel me to avoid our potential salvation in order to avoid Gehenna?
When everything awakens, when the end draws near, these are all things that are feared, but we see it as different. The end you seek to avoid is different, for there is only one that must be satisfied when he chooses to judge. And all eyes will be on you. Well, his eyes will be on you. But not just his. All of us will be watching.
And I thought you said the Watcher was someone else.
Again, the snickering will kind of echo through the small children.
We're all just a big group of voyeurs, aren't you?
The one that's with you will kind of put her finger up to her mouth and goes,
Yay. Thank you for your warnings. And before I depart, thank you for your hospitality for my progenitor.
always. Our mom? The detective will just kind of like, not say anything, but will get up kind of as you leave. We'll enjoy watching what you decide. Either
Yes.
way.
I'm sure you will. So did Eric. Yes, Eric.
Good, we can talk about it later, Mom, I think. Alright, sorry. Interrupted by real world people. Anyway.
Excellent. So did Eric.
Alright. Heading out.
I'm gonna collect my coat first.
Your coat. Well, no, actually, when you go up to it, it's like, do you have your ticket?
Reach into my pocket.
You don't remember getting a ticket, but there's one now.
Of course.
Uh-oh. All right. You'll get your coat back. As you kind of head out,
Apparently the children are not happy that you're leaving and did not immediately acquiesce to their demands.
this small child's probably upset that she has to go to bed. But
I imagine that's just the madness coming through.
Mm-hmm. But yes, so yeah. As you kind of step outside, the lights will just disappear behind you. And as you kind of like turn around to look, the open space is gone. You're just in a like kind of like the little like maze-like tunnels again. Nothing is there. And you have a cape again.
Well, at least they returned it.
You looked very styling as a coat. Perhaps you should return to the others. Well, Mason, do you need me to speak up, support you, or are we going to continue this? Either way, it is not a concern of mine, as I've said in the past. There is interest here, and perhaps some repaying to be done on my end. I get a sense that an old wound in something I could not prevent in the past can be rectified here. That is why I'm here. But you have a decision to make. I do not
Apparently.
need to do that. Well, shall I keep my mouth shut? Shall I speak up? What is it you wish? Shall we just ignore this and continue on our path? You've dragged us all out into the desert. You would need a very good explanation. And I feel the warning that friends may be arriving is apropos. We should prepare if we are going to buckle down, as they say.
Briefly, what are your thoughts? Do you also counsel backing off?
Honestly, I do not counsel either direction. If I had thought backing off was a good thing to give you, I would have warned you when we first met. Honestly speaking, for those of us that are younger, such as yourself, it is your decisions how this world is affected. We of the older generation can make effects, but we have had our chances to make the big impacts. That doesn't mean we won't return and do some more shenanigans or make more decisions. But you should have your own opportunities to make good choices and bad ones. So I will not advise you either direction. You have been warned to back off because, well, it sounds like you have a 33% chance of success and a 66% chance of something going to shit.
Indeed.
So, are you a gambling man, Mason?
Well, I have run a gambling den in the past. Made quite a profit off of it.
So the question is...
We shall see.
Is this the gambling fund?
As I said, we shall see.
We should go back. Alright.
Alright.
You'll easily head back to where everybody else is. They're still doing their work. After a little while, Leslie, you'll come back. Yeah, you've... again, it's unfortunate that there isn't enough of the city to really give you a good bit of information. Like, you can get little bits here and there, but unfortunately, there's so much ruin to this entire place. It makes it difficult. Mm-hmm. Currently, Yeezy and Ryan are still doing their thing. Not done yet. What are folks doing?
Without trying to bother Yeezy and Ryan, did anyone notice any unusual lights in the distance?
No, I've been keeping an eye out this entire time. I haven't seen anything.
No lights.
Emil, actually give me a perception alerts.
Difficulty?
Just 6. We'll just say 6. We'll see how well you roll.
5.
Okay. You did notice something, but, like, it could be passed off. You've noticed that, like, in the distance, there have been a number of, helicopters.
I saw some helicopters out in the distance, but that's about it. I just kind of figured it was some kind of military operation not too far from here.
Oh,
So that's another air before.
I very much hope that those aren't the friends that we're expecting.
No,
Leslie.
we're not expecting them. They're not going to show up. Not those ones.
Leslie.
Nothing in the area. If that's your question.
I was just going to mention that I believe I've started a collection of my own.
Oh, have you now? That's rather exciting.
Yes. In fact, technically, I think I have you beat because there were 12 of him. 12? 13?
Are we talking a
What do we
hive
call it?
mind here? Or one being presenting as many?
I make no assumptions as to this entity's
Given that you
state of being.
describe it as this entity, I'm going to say that only counts as one.
But there were 12.
If I split myself into
That
12...
only counts as one.
Exactly, yes. If I split myself into 12 pieces, it's still just me.
Well, that depends on how many of you can talk.
An interesting point. At any rate,
Anyway,
my own investigation in the area has turned up nothing. This place is a mess and wreck, a ruin, as it seems to be. And there's little I can gain by just wandering around playing.
well, that is what it is.
Without any ideas, I think our best bet at the moment is to wait for our mage associate over there. Finish his dealings. Hopefully him and Ryan can come up with something. And on the off chance that something shows up, I'm just going to do some prowling.
You
Fair
know,
enough.
if anything gets closer than a speck in the distance.
Leslie, I would like to ask your advice on something.
Shoot.
Would you gamble on something with a 33% probability of eternal salvation?
To be fair, prior to my being turned, that's exactly what I did. We were gambling with the entire world going up in atomic fire. Don't take the gamble. Well, the other option is certain destruction of everything. Might as well take the 33. Why? Something percolating in that mind of yours?
No, completely empty at the moment. Yes, I'd lie.
Yes, figured.
Emil, same question.
What happens if you lose?
Good question. But not the one I asked.
I mean, I guess that's my answer, though, is it all depends. You have to weigh the success versus the failure. If success isn't something you're willing to, if the failure isn't something you're willing to live with, then it's not worth taking a chance at success.
What if success is the thing you have to live with?
And then I guess you have a 66% chance of not having to live with it.
That's a good way of putting it.
That is a very good point. If Dawn were here, I'd just ask 1, 2, or 3. And she'd be able to tell me the correct answer.
Bit of a prophet, she is.
Mm-hmm. Left, right, or center?
Never chose the wrong one, did she?
Don't believe so.
Are you contemplating leaving?
Leaving what?
Here. You aren't the type to just come out and start asking pontificating questions out of nowhere.
Yeah, there's definitely something, but I'm guessing this is a choice you have to make and not us.
Also, an excellent question.
Emil.
Yeah?
You hear something. It is the sound, like, it's like quiet. Very quiet. But you hear what sounds to be like the sound of, like, you think a helicopter? Approaching.
One might be coming. Helicopter is actually getting closer. I'd have to save philosophy for a later time.
Well, flashlight's off, I believe.
Maybe you're the only one with her. Oh, perhaps the hunters and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
My eyes have learned. I already activated my eyes.
Okay.
I also pull out my rifle.
Mm-hmm. Alright, give me another perception alertness check then.
Everybody?
Everybody can, at this time.
Then just 6.
Okay.
5 again!
Oh god, you're wasting all of these wonderful rolls. Well, maybe not wasting. Maybe not wasting, because we're actually noticing things. So,
Yeah.
keep it up.
Yep.
Good work, soldiers.
Actually, ends count as...
What's your
Yeah,
perception? What's your perception?
attentive.
Oh, attentive? Oh, then yeah. Oh, yeah, you got a lot of successes. Well, okay. So, Emil, you will certainly notice what's going on. Kind of pulling out your rifle and, like, kind of giving a scan in towards the direction, you will now notice there are about half a dozen unmarked, very quiet helicopters heading in your direction. Also, you will notice that there is some dust trails coming from over a hill, as if there are some ground vehicles also.
I think we have an army approaching. But you were too quiet. I didn't
Practicing
hear.
some ventriloquism, though. Some mimicry. Didn't you? WoD, you said it.
Yeah, you actually
One
didn't pick up on it.
more in point.
You could have had Obfuscate 5 and done something really cool now.
Ah.
Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna sit here and eat this Pocky.
Uh-huh.
Pocky.
take our first break?
Yeah. That's probably a good time for that.
Probably. We'll do that. Snack, drink, bathroom break. Go ahead and take those.
Contemplate the end of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever.
Morph and Badoof. We're back. Okay. There's some folks coming. What's your plan?
Well, we've got some amount of defense set up, and I recommended turning off the lights.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, who turned off the light?
I'm gonna find a nice spot and kind of sit myself down. It's a little bit more out of the way. I can use my rifle to its best advantage.
You can probably find that, honestly. There's also probably, like, I will note, like, the major thing here is there are a bunch of ruins that probably could be very good cover if you need to do that, too.
Yeah.
But the ruins, of the way that they're formatted, because they're slightly below ground, would be good for cover, but not very good for firing out of, kind of thing. There is some wreckage that's more surface level, that's a lot more, like, hasn't really been excavated as much, which would probably be better for both-ish. It'd probably be less... You're not going to have as much cover, but you will be able to, like, attack out of it, if you needed to. At the edge of the area, kind of in the back, all of a sudden, like, a bunch of, like, lights will come on from these helicopters. Like, a few hundred feet away, it'll seem. As then, like, crackling over, as you're all in kind of defensive positions, nothing looks like it's actually, like, gotten on top of you, as of yet. But you'll hear this testing, in a very...
Is it him?
It's him.
God damn it. That fucking guy.
Thank you for all your assistance, Nathan and friends. I am a reasonable being, as much as we've been antagonistic over our time knowing each other. So rather than just come in and steamroll all of you, I'm going to give you a chance. If you would surrender yourselves, hand over the chalices, we can make this trade-off quite quickly. Don't worry, your time in our detainment won't be for long. But I will personally guarantee your safety. And you know that I'm at very least a man of my word. I'm hoping that our encounters over our time knowing each other have taught you that much.
Rather for both.
You have,
Eidetic memory, correct?
5 minutes, 10 minutes best. Oh.
You have my cup. I have the other two. Crush it.
Yeah, alright.
It doesn't break.
Balls.
I could take them somewhere. He can't get them. You
No.
may not want to leave them
No.
there.
No.
Could
You
go
have, 10 minutes. I'm a generous one.
What if instead of just all of them, what if I just leave one there?
No.
Makes it awful hard to get.
No. Claws.
What's with
You
all the choppers and the noises and the things going on?
Yeezy.
Yo!
Electric things tend to fail rather catastrophically, don't they?
Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
Wouldn't it be a pity for those up in those helicopters if something were to go wrong?
I could go and get him a mind virus in their cyberware. That might make some jibbity jabs, but it probably won't cause them to crash.
I'm keeping an eye out for anyone sneaking up on our camp, by the way.
So far, nothing. But with your roll, I will let you know when you notice something.
Thank you for letting it carry over.
Mm-hmm.
My understanding is that helicopter blades are very delicate pieces of electronic machinery.
Yo, man, I could probably do something crazy, but my master's taught me well. He's taught me that doing some crazy shit will have some crazy shit happening here.
Of course, I wouldn't expect you to do crazy shit. I mean, a small electrical short in an otherwise unprotected bit of machinery shouldn't be a massive undertaking? I wouldn't imagine. It's a small thing.
Yo, man,
It
I'd
could
have to
easily
get
happen.
close for that there. We got some range here. But I was going to be trying it from this distance much harder because it's like, I don't know the helicopter ins and outs, pieces and bits and bobbles. If I don't know that, I can't do stuff with that. If you get me close, I could do shit like that. Like, I could virus them a little bit. You know, give them some malware or something like that. But that's an easy one, and that might not interfere with anything. I don't know. It's taking a stab, taking a guess.
How are you with slight asphyxiation?
Yo, man, I've tried some of that shit when I've been having some, the times, but it ain't my thing. I don't get my job up from that job up, if you know what I mean.
Why did I try to... Never mind. Look, I can get you close, alright?
I understand both of you now.
If I get you close, you can do some... jibbery-jabbing whatever the fuck you were talking about to the helicopters, right?
Maybe? As I said, I ain't no mechanic when it comes to a helicopter.
So, you're familiar with software then, correct?
The digital world is a mess of all kinds of things, you know?
Right.
I've been studying up and knowing that kind of stuff.
Gotcha.
Also, I did find your ley lines.
Ah,
That's something.
where are they?
He's going to, point out somewhere in those ruins, which, for a second there, Nathan, that seems awfully familiar of a location, kind of in that area.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Like you were just there a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I figure.
Mm-hmm. If what you're looking for is in that area, then that's where it's at.
Mm-hmm.
But man,
Well,
I don't know what the hell you got with you, but it's glowing.
Pardon?
the cup?
Oh yeah! Them things. I was reading everything, getting the spots, the spirits, and the energies, and the flow of everything. And it was like, boom!
And you didn't notice anything, Leslie.
Do I look like one who reads the ley lines? This isn't my business, this is his. I deal with the
how do you
dog
mean?
faces. Something that you are rather, unkeen to let me do my fucking job lately. Mr. Scared of the shadows.
Samantha's gonna come up to you then and be like, who is this guy and what's going on?
This guy is not entirely a guy. He is one of the Kirihabi.
Alright. And what's he want with you?
It appears that he is jealous of my dinnerware. I was able to outbid him on a particular piece.
And he's followed out to the desert to get revenge.
I don't think it's revenge. I think he wants the peace. Like I said, he's very jealous of my dinnerware. Have you ever encountered black spiral dancers before?
Again, they're gonna just... she's not gonna be like... I'm gonna roll something because one of them might know some things. Oh! Hey! The father will chime in. I believe that is a type of, werewolf. We've fought werewolves before.
In a sense.
Basically, picture your average standard werewolf. Juice it up on so many steroids it would make Schwarzenegger cry, and you're a black spiral dancer.
Also make it golf. Don't forget the golf part.
Did forget the golf part, my bad.
Very, very unfortunate entities. Are you familiar with the progenitors?
Maybe. Again, you know, you have a lot of good terms that you call things. Doesn't mean that we know what your terms are. Look, honestly...
Fair. Mummies, evil werewolves, assassin-style vampires, and the Technocratic Union?
Yo, shit, man! You don't say no technocrats in here? Yeezy's all gonna, like, be murdered the shit out of. Or experimented. Maybe they're gonna take my brain. For one of their science machines.
Well, I've been shot at by one of their science machines, specifically while I was acquiring my dinnerware from him.
You know how we brought you here so we can all work on a thing, save the world, yada yada yada, stop the big calamity? He's interfering. That's the long and short of it. He's attempting to interfere with us, preventing the bad juju.
Well put.
I pride myself on my evidence.
Could make a beeline for our location. Find.
Samantha's thinking for a minute, and then she's like, she kind of looked towards the others, and then go back. Look, if you need time, we might be able to give it to you. If you think you can get to where you're looking for.
I think we can get to where we're looking for.
Then I think we can give you some time.
Much appreciated.
Okay.
I wish you the best.
Same to you.
Fair enough.
You're the, second most reasonable bloodsucker I've ever met.
Who's the first?
Probably want to know him.
Well,
Not with an attitude like that, we wouldn't. All right, let's go.
Okay. You will head into the kind of like maze of foundations once again. Your 4 people in tow, so Meredith, Lapis, the detective, Yeezy's definitely coming along, and of course your normal 4 set of your group with Ryan and the rest of you kind of coming along. And as you head for the location, kind of pointed out by Yeezy, the chalices that you have will start to get hot. Like they feel actually like they're producing heat.
You all heating up too? Or was that just me?
Didn't they do this last time?
What do you mean last time?
What? Do you recall when I asked you if you saw any lights?
Yes, and I thought you were going crazy.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. Well, who would like to play hot or cold? I haven't played that since childhood.
Mine's rather hot. I can try wandering around.
Detective, is this hot to you?
It definitely feels like it's got some temperature to it.
All right.
See, this is why I hate prophecies. It didn't tell us a damn thing about how to actually do anything here. It's just, oh, take these chalices, go to this location. Here we are.
Something
Good
quickly
boy.
here. Give me
Find the Temple of Gamal. Find Gamal. Go in. See what's in there.
Yeah, it's perfectly reasonable.
And I thought
Expectations.
finding the lost city that has been off the grid for almost the entirety of humanity was the hard part.
Yes. Travel to the Dread Palace of Gamal. You will find what's inside there.
You know what? I'm just gonna pull the Dawn. Leslie's just gonna close his eyes and like toss the cup in a direction.
Okay. It clanks to the ground.
That is not pulling a Dawn. That is pulling an Inigo Montoya.
Look, if it works, it works. All right. He's gonna go touch the chalice. Is it warmer?
All right. I probably not. I'm gonna say honestly speaking. I'm just gonna roll this D10. We'll see.
Come on.
We'll see how well we go.
Give me it.
Let's see if it's a 10. No, it's a 3. No. Anyway, all right. Through some trial and error, yes, you can figure out where to go to. It will do a little bit of a game of hot and cold. Not a huge one. As you would approach like an area where it feels like it's kind of on fire, you will kind of feel this kind of little bit of rumbling, as like in the middle of this kind of pathway, the sands will kind of fall back, and a staircase will be revealed.
Huh.
Too much to ask to close it up behind us, wouldn't it be?
Almost.
I wish that Dawn were here. She could just
Illusion
cover it with an illusion.
If you had one more point in some random thing on a sheet, you might be able to... Sorry, what? I had a stroke, I think.
If only it had been a stroke of genius. Alas, too much to wish for.
So turn around to the other, our 4 companions. Well, you all ready to descend down the staircase of doom?
You know, historically, doom just means fate. So it's not necessarily bad. Let's go.
Secret language is a living thing, fortunately. Down the stairs!
All right.
Just
You'll-
like us, right, Leslie?
You'll head into the darkness, of course. As you kind of enter into it, the chalices now are glowing. They're no longer getting any hotter than they were, which they're like not like normally like hot to the touch. They're just uncomfortable. But of course you're vampires, so you don't really care. It's just you understand that it's like this is kind of uncomfortable. You know, but they're like glowing now also.
Don't need a torch.
You know, And neither will they. Excellent.
The stairs go down for a while before they open out into a large kind of chamber that looks to be like an old, like you're not sure how deep, but it's like a kind of almost cave-like chamber, with a large kind of stone wall with this kind of circular pattern in the center. This one is emblazed with strange symbols and such like that, and you can see that in the like center of it seems to be a shape that looks like a chalice, like an indentation for one.
Walk up and stick mine in.
Yours doesn't fit.
Yeah.
Well,
Maybe
yours kind of goes in there, but like it comes out again too. It doesn't really like stay, you know.
Apparently, when they called these keys, they meant it literally. They
Yo, dudes, this is some funky ass shit on here.
Yeah, it's regular old Indiana Jones.
None of them really like fit exactly.
Is this some sort of temporal distortion where they all go into the same place, but not at the same time, or something?
Try
Maybe
mashing
they
out
go
two
in the
together.
same
Maybe they
time.
join.
What was that, Emil?
Maybe we just put one in, try and shove the second
Yo,
one in.
I
maybe
know
something
some
will
of this
happen.
shit. This is like stuff my master was trying to teach me. Old school shit.
Enlighten
Matter
us.
together?
Is it Coldonic?
No.
Wait a second. Weren't these replicas of the cups?
Yes.
Wait, dude, I know what I'm supposed to do. Mans, it's like I'm supposed to be here and all, like the destiny of the world is here for me to see, and for you to be here and rock and roll. Can I see one of them things? That one there, that you got, all Shadow Man.
Of course, here you are.
You see, when I see it, I can read it and understand it. It's calling out to me. It says to me, you gotta do the thing. Easy for show, the hero of the ages! As he puts the chalice in, and it sticks this time. There is a glowing throughout the door of a kind of like pale, kind of greenish light as it lifts up. Yo, man, I think I need to stay here. I think that's what we do. You go in, but we keep the doors open so you can get out at night, so to say. I get that
Thank
feeling
you.
that if I step in through here, you ain't coming back. None of us are.
Lovely.
No.
Wait, why do we need 4 people then if we have 3 chalices? We'll find out ahead. Alright, are you fine?
No.
Good luck to you. I'll stay here and guard the way. If that's what you want me
Thank
to do
you.
all day.
Thank you, Yeezy. Faux show.
Oh, show is in the house!
I recommend some AC/DC. Or perhaps Def Leppard. I believe they were the ones that did Rock of Ages. Leslie?
Eidetic memory failing
that's just like a Leslie is like I'm not answering that. Eidetic memories failed me. Too bad. It's like wait a second.
me. Through the door!
Excellent. Through the door.
Okay.
What's on the other side of the door?
The kind of cavern continues for a little bit to another set of stairs which heads down. If you continue to follow the stairs, eventually it will lead to, yet again, a similar chamber with another door.
What if we don't continue to follow the stairs, though?
You can stand around with your fingers up your asses. That is always an option.
Maybe I enjoy that.
No. As long as it's not other people's fingers up our asses.
Well, you never know.
I don't know.
I mean...
Apparently the Japanese have a game about that the children play.
Yes. I've heard of that. I know someone who's a very big fan of Japanese culture that I went to college with.
Anyway, when you get to the second door, much like the first, there's an indentation for a chalice. Just kind of speed it along a little bit. Lapis
Who would like to try one?
Lapis will recognize that it is for her, and that she must use the second of the chalices, which she surely can do. The third door, similar. This one, Meredith. Now the fourth door is interesting as there is no markings upon it, except for a strange set of writing in the center of it. It is funny. Comical.
How so?
Jackie Chan, Charlie Chaplin.
I came down here, as I said to him, to repay a favor for an old mistake. Not as if I met someone directly, but I had the opportunity to maybe assist them, to save them, and I did not take it. But it turns out that someone else could see what could not be seen, and know what could not be known. And, seems like I was expected. This is an old script. One of mine peoples, of our beings. One that most mortals would not know. Nor should they know. Strange. I know it now what you are doing. But I will not say.
Come on, pretty please, just a little hint. We don't have any idea what we're doing.
No, they get off on this sort of thing.
It's not that. The message, the way it is said is that, I still must wait here, I believe. It is less in this case that I must hold the door open, and more that, once you are finished here, I can perhaps assist you some more. Not as, the detective, but as the other me.
As the...
Don't worry about it.
Angel?
He'll just kind of give it like a...
Well, that's not ominous in any way.
He's just going to put his hand on the door as it will glow and open up. Well, gentlemen, good luck to you. When you return, well, everything will be different.
We will be returning, yes.
That's
That
not for
is
me to determine.
currently the plan, as far as I'm aware. Shall we?
Why not? End of the world, the photo crisis.
You'll head down the stairs, of course, as there's going to be yet another set of stairs leading down, and it's going to lead to,
Ryan,
yeah.
at this point, If you'd prefer, you may return.
Honestly, I don't think this is the place for me. But you know what? I don't think I'm going to abandon you guys. You've been, great friends. You've shown me that, a lot of us out there get a lot of, rep for the curses set upon us, the lots in life we're dealt. Whether or not you're, genetically modified into some kind of supernatural super cockroach, or, maybe something bit you on the neck and made you all fangy. Doesn't matter. You can still, find friends out there, and, people that'll, look after you. And, you know what, I get that. And, I'm glad I met y'all. Great Little Cockroach was right. He's good people. I'll go away with the detective. I think you're right that this ain't a place for me. It's a place for you guys. This is your big, thing. I mean, if, I went into a laboratory where some people were like, wah ha 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 ha, evil scientist ways, that's my kind of, origin story kind of place. A lot less, fancy and stone.
Well,
I'll be real with you, this isn't exactly my place either, but needs must.
what can I say? This is my sort of place. Deep and hard as a rock.
You just had to get in one last one, didn't you? We're facing the
Well-
end of the world, and you're here making cock jokes.
Have you seen it? It's impressive.
I'm sure it is. Shall we?
I mean, right now, I suppose.
No,
if
just yape it in your pants, man!
Ah, well, it would have had to take off the cummerbund anyway. Down we go. It's part of the suit.
It goes on your chest!
That's called a bra, Leslie. A cummerbund goes at your waist to cover your belt and collect crumbs when you're eating. Did you not realize what a cummerbund is for? Leslie, I have much left to teach you.
Look, I might have mixed up something else. Let's just go, please. For the love of everything holy and not.
All right,
Alright,
down into Satan's hole.
Shut!
you'll head down one final set of stairs, which will lead to, rather than opening up a room, it'll kind of lead down to a little bit of a hallway, which will end in a set of stone doors. Just simple stone set of double doors that kind of go from the floor to the top of this kind of hallway.
Leslie, you realize that I treasure every opportunity to torment you, correct?
Oh, I'm well aware. I would have left long ago if I didn't enjoy it at least a little bit.
That's what she said. Emil?
Yeah.
Think you can hack your way into this one?
I mean, depends on the kind of hacking you're talking about.
A pickaxe, perhaps.
I gave you one last opportunity to use a pun, and you failed me. I'm gonna turn back to the door and push on it.
The doors will push open into what appears to be a massive kind of underground stone temple. there are columns that fill the place that are kind of simply decorated, that make them look like actually they're like trees growing up from the floor. So they kind of like the bottom of the columns kind of spread out, almost root-like for a little bit, but you can tell they're like it's an actual column, and it kind of like branches out to where like branches will be at the top, kind of supporting the roof. They're intricately designed, and they look like these like just massive, almost like stone tree trunks that are just kind of filling up the area and kind of carrying the entire thing. The ceiling is actually like it looks as though it has faded over time, but the entire thing is covered in this massive mural that looks to be like a depiction of the sky through the leaves of trees. So it looks like each of the trunks has like drawn leaves around it, and in the center, kind of like down the kind of like main hallway, that kind of like or the main thoroughfare through these colonnades and stuff, is of course like you can see this like depiction of almost what looks like the sun. There is a raised dais in the center of this room that leads up to what looks to be a large, kind of almost chalice-looking thing.
I really hope the weather's good. That's not it. Dogs, trees, no, nothing.
No, I got it.
No,
Yeah, I got it too.
at least somebody finds it funny. Gonna walk up to the chalice, I guess.
All right. The chalice itself is probably about 6 foot tall. It looks as though it's like connected to the floor on top of this raised dais. There are like little glowing, almost like blue fires that are around the area. They give off a kind of like it's odd because you like look at them and you do not feel the normal like fear a vampire would. In fact, it's like the opposite. They feel like warming just by looking at them.
Same fires that were in VtM 2.
Are they the same fires that were in VtM 2?
They look similar. Those were created through like Caldonic magic, so they might be similar.
Huh.
Caldonic is, again, probably not the original magic either, so there could be like a vampiric blood magic that is older than that they could have been created with.
What's in the chalice? What's in the box?
Nothing.
What?
The chalice is completely empty.
Leslie, that does not appear to be a tall drink of water, as we might have originally suspected.
No, there seems to be a rather obvious lack of a certain red liquid filling this chalice.
Of course there's not. Who would be foolish enough to leave a chalice full of red liquid? Chalice
I
full
don't know,
of
some
blood.
sort of ancient being who's millennia old.
I was going to say a 19-year-old girl at a bar, but, you know.
You just... I looked to see who said that.
Yeah.
Nathan and Leslie just roll with it and go, what the fuck?
Coming from sort of behind you down the stairs is a man dressed in like very kind of like simple, it looks to be desert gear, like just something that someone like would do, like a travel in the Middle East would be.
Is it Jay?
It is indeed Jay. Hello again.
$5, Leslie.
What? I've never met this man in my life. What are you talking about?
I bet you $5 that this person... No. Sam. Damn it.
I think you're the one in need of an eidetic memory. Oh god, man. Do I look like somebody who's had half his face rotted off? I'm much more handsome than that.
No, just one arm. Hello again.
Glare.
Indeed. Odd to meet you again. Then again,
Not so odd for me.
I could see the
Rifle
chance.
shouldered, but not pointed
Yeah.
at him.
I could see the possibility existed.
Nathan, introductions, perhaps?
Ah,
My
perhaps,
apologies.
perhaps I should give the proper introduction.
Go ahead.
I am Jabal, servant of Caine, guardian of this place.
Oh, a pleasure to meet you. I think my own
Indeed.
collection just increased, Nathan.
Unlike you, I may walk in the day. Unlike your normals, I did not need such a supply. Legends speak of it, I am sure. There once was a great chalice full of Caine's blood, and Jabal watched over it.
Something along those lines. Also included a little bit of you sipping from the nectar of the gods or whatever.
Indeed, a lie like that is something that was put in place to hide the true meaning of this place. Myself, the potency of my master's blood means that I only maybe need to feed on it for once every few centuries.
So you do somewhere have a chalice of Caine's blood, then?
Oh no,
A blood bag? You just find him and
he finds me.
that makes so much more sense. Nathan, why did we not think of that?
You, as his
Don't
descendants,
know. Why did you not think of that?
very few of you actually think the fact that he still walks among you, hidden. Why would he not? Unlike the rest of you, the curse of sleep, the lack of faith in one's own self, one's own mortality does not exist the same way. He was born before that mortality even existed.
So,
Well,
What's the big chalice for then?
oh, that. Every year, once a year, I light up a little fire in it for a special ceremony.
Oh.
It is an old tradition back from my home village. A bonfire on the birthday of one.
Your birthday?
Oh yes, I use it to celebrate that.
How do you get down here?
There are other ways in. You only found one of many. I believe you used the
Well,
one
that
that...
pop-up circumstance, then.
I believe you used the one that Malkov set in place.
So, us collecting the chalice didn't actually stop anybody from getting any of them.
well, no, because we frigging opened the doors, Leslie.
I'm well aware of that, but apparently there's more than one way. Even if we hadn't opened the door, apparently somebody else could have opened the door.
Unfortunately, no. Each
Not
of us
those
has
two.
our own ways to come into this place. Our own ways into the catacombs here. And, each of us has our own entrance. The one has long been since sealed. Since, your progenitor, Nathan, passed. The way in that way has long since disappeared.
My progenitor.
Nathan's.
Ah.
At the one who is now enjoying a party. So,
Was your progenitor?
Yes.
yes,
Did you not catch that?
Nope.
Lord Ventru was the gentleman that I spoke to.
He was in the back when we
Why
were
did
dealing
my
with the
brain
crocodile
forget
man.
that? No, I remember that guy. I was just like, my brain for whatever reason just passed right over Venture.
Yeah, no, that was him. Yeah, he was in having a party for several millennia.
Since he
Rather
left this
tempting.
world,
Okay.
since he has left this world, well, his secrets went with him. Malkov, in its infinite wisdom, has created such an elaborate way in. I myself have something quite simple, but only accessible to myself.
Well, what's the point of all of this?
What is the point?
Well, because I have no idea what the 3 is one thing is, but the one has been found. Presumably, the one who guards it be found. That's you. The one he who gives of it be found, which I can only imagine is Caine.
Must be.
And let all secrets be revealed. So, we're waiting for that penultimate part.
Perhaps I can tell
And
you a
then-
story then. You found your way here, past the gates of Markov, and more than likely I sense that Markov had visited you. I guess either give you a warning or a threat, or barely laughed at your want to follow his path.
I mean, when I saw him, he was just having some fun with some fae.
Hmm.
Fun I'd rather not have seen.
And perhaps I can tell you an ancient tale, one that can hint to you about what is truly hidden here. But first, I might ask you, if I were to be revealed to you his secrets, what would you do with them?
Well, I mean, our entire goal of
I suppose that
getting-
depends on what the secret is.
Yeah, that's fair.
If it's the secret to all the golden jewels that I could want, then I would probably use it to support my business.
I won't tell anyone if you don't want me to.
I will
I'm
tell
just
you...
here to
Go ahead.
half the reason I'm here is just to make sure my damn progenitor doesn't come back to my arm.
You worry of the Sombra. He is one that
Just
is...
a little bit.
He is quite unstable. He has been for some time, unfortunately.
There's a few of those.
What was it that my progenitor wanted to stop? Side missions.
I'll tell you this much then, and perhaps you can answer me. What is here is something that could shake up the very foundation of the world as you know it. More than just information, it is something from the old days that was kept here, that could change the very dynamic of what it means to be you.
What it means to be... Well,
But it
It's a way
also
out.
could be a hope for the future. A hope for all of you out there. If
It's
it
a
would
way
be
out,
you.
isn't it?
No. Not the way you think it is. Perhaps it could be described that way. I've pondered over why this was kept here. I understand part of it why it was kept here. Why my master would seal it away. Something that could change the very dynamic of what the curse of the kindred is. But also, perhaps it is that he felt none of you were ready. I think that's why he gave instructions to 4 of us to create 4 ways in. I made mine impossible to enter except for myself. I am the guardian of this place. But each of the others, I believe, created a test, if you will. Markov tested all of you.
and apparently we were insane enough to pass.
And of a nature which tells me that you are reasonable. That you still hold on to a spark of what it means to be human. I never had to worry about losing that because of my own nature, as I am somewhere in between what would be called a ghoul and a true kindred. Caine's blood is more powerful than you would think, more dangerous than you think. Zilla knew this.
And so...
And so, I think I am ready to impart wisdom here, knowledge, information. Because an old friend saw the future with a man with a shadow on who came from that time with questions.
Oh, fuck.
She also saw her own end, and did nothing to stop it. Perhaps because she sensed that only one may be as strong as Caine. And
I tried to warn her about that.
I
I
believe
did.
it was right of you to do so. But as I said, since I am different, I am able to continue with what I am.
So one brief interlude here, because it's kind of great. This entire time, there's been a part of me that thought that was all just a hallucination caused by leftover ancient magics. I was there, actually there. That was her.
I do not know how or what form you manifested in, but for a brief second, I do know that you, whoever you are, I do not know your name, but still, you, the man with the shadow arm, connected across time. Were you physically there? I do not know. Were you spiritually there? At very least.
She was a very nice lady.
She was one of the best. She was filled with love and humanity more than any of our kind. It was a loss to us all when she went, when she disappeared. So, are you ready to change the face of your world?
Let me ask you something first.
Go ahead.
What could we do that would cause you to turn us to ash?
Though I may not be as strong as my master's wife was, it is true that I have developed myself much more than those of their child. It would be child's play to eliminate you all.
It's my question.
These flames here are created by me. It is not the only flame that I wield. You forget, I am not like you. I do not fear the flames. So I could develop powers and blood magics far stronger than any of your kind ever could.
I think what
That-
that specifically is what actions could we take that would lead to being incinerated? If you are the one that was in the vision that Zilla told unto me, I'm not sure if you are or not. I never saw the man's face, and the man in the vision paid us much less attention than you are. I don't think he's the one she was warning of, to be honest.
There is one other. One other here. One other entrance. The one that watches. The one that watches may not take kindly to you here. Perhaps it is judging you also. Watching, finding out if you are worthy. I think perhaps your vision was possible future. If you should fail, perhaps, in protecting what is to come.
All right.
What is to come?
Acting correctly. Death. What is to come is that You have now found this place, disturbed this place. So it is time for the secrets of this location to be unleashed. The true depths of this secret? Well, I will leave it up to your judgment of what you want to announce to the world. But I would recommend you keep it to yourself until things are ready. Now, are you ready to take your responsibilities?
Yep.
I don't suppose there's any answer other than yes.
No, the other answer is
Didn't come,
go back the way
come
we
here for
came.
nothing.
Yeah, I don't think that's actually an option, to be honest.
Then follow me, as I tell you a story.
Slaying my gun over my shoulder, or over my command gun.
Long ago, a woman of great beauty found the eye of my master. Yet, he knew that his love was dangerous. He was accursed and she was mortal. He also knew that his own curse would prevent her from truly loving him the same way. He mistakenly sought out the assistant of an old creature, a being even more ancient than he was at this time. The Crow. I believe that's the colloquial that is known by your people. The Crow...
Would you perhaps lean forward
Sorry.
to speak?
Sorry. That's me. The crone showed him how to find love in the blood. Caine, my master, discovered that was not needed. Though this dark secret came to him and all of his kin, the bond of blood between all of them, it would forever be cursed into all of you. To feel love, emotion for each other in ways that happen when you share blood. For thousands of years, my master and his wife found happiness with each other. But then they sought something more, and they returned to the Crow. The crone gave them help once more, but a dangerous, twisted help. They could find the love they sought, but in it was a dangerous curse. Something that would be revolutionary to the way everything worked. A crystallization of both love and hatred. He's going to lead you to another set of doors at the far end of this room and kind of like push them open, where there is what looks to be a giant set of, it looks like amber. Like, it's like massive. Like, it's like 6-7 foot wide. Giant piece of amber. And there seems to be something in the center of it.
Human shape.
Vaguely human shape. So, they took the crone's advice, but found that what came of it, the world was not ready for. And so it has slept here for 1,000 years, thousands and thousands of years upon each other.
Well,
But I'm guessing it is time for all things to end. Time for an awakening. Well, Guardians, are you ready for your responsibility?
You say godlings or guardians?
Guardians.
Okay. I would have been very confused at the first one.
And I suppose by virtue of us finding this place, it makes us the Guardian.
That is what
I
you've accepted.
imagine by taking responsibility, it has made us the guardians.
So are we to be locked in the dusty tomb for the rest of our lives?
Oh no.
Not if it's awake.
He's going to put his hand on the amber as it starts to melt away. Slowly. No. You will take the child with you. She is...
Darling, we have a child.
She is... well... new to your world. New to much of the world. I'm sure her mind will be curious.
You know, of all the things unexpected, at the end of this journey, as traveling across the globe, all sorts of different places, getting shot at, beaten, crushed, stabbed, exploded, finding this, this was not what I expected, Jabal. Granted,
Jabal.
I admittedly didn't actually expect to find you either, so that's an additional surprise.
As the amber
I very
kind
much did.
of
And that
melts
night,
away,
Emil owes me $5.
a very beautiful, maybe like young woman is now lying in the remains of the amber.
So what are we to be to her?
Parents, guardians, people that look after her, steer her in a direction that is perhaps best for the world. You see, she is Zakita, daughter of Caine and Zilla, a being that is both alive and dead perpetually, different from me, different from you, a creature that should not exist.
Met a lot of those.
Yes. With all due respect, why us? We are... going by bloodline alone, our blood is so diluted. Even myself... Nathan, I apologize, I can't remember what generation you are. I believe you're the same generation as I am. Don't remember. Either way, even for the two of us, who are the youngest generation of those we know, we are much weaker than many in this world. Why us? You have, as by your own admittance, the ability to just snap us out of existence. We
Are insane.
Yes.
Leslie,
Yes.
a man caught out of time, out of a war that is different than any other war that was fought before. A man who sought to seek peace for his country, for his kin. A man who has since then seemed to find a sort of peace with his own vampiric bloodline.
Excellent.
Worm just put a question in chat, which is like the worst question
I'm-
he could
I'm
have
just
ever
ignoring
asked.
that. I'm
It is the
ignoring it.
literal worst question he could have ever asked.
That's why that's not in character.
Yeah, oh my god. Probably you would just be instantly murdered by Caine,
Back to the
who then
story.
would judge all vampires for your actions and cause the apocalypse for vampires.
I don't know why my brain went there, but it was just like, I wonder.
Yeah. Hmm.
The question I asked, by the way, for those in the VOD, I asked, just a curious thought, what would happen if we Diablerized the giant?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Caine would hunt us all down and then hunt all vampires.
There would be
down.
no hunting you down. He probably...
He knows you're dead.
Yeah.
Got it.
And then probably he would judge all vampires negatively by that. Anyway,
And then kill us all.
Where
Got
the
it.
fuck were we?
I was basically saying, giving a judgment on Leslie. Since then, you've seen the darkness in many of your own kind's blood, yet you seek more of the light, more. You resist the urges that you seek, and once the beast gnaws at you, you do not agree. You resist it. You find your own humanity. Nathan, you are a man of far few scruples when it comes to the world. But on the other hand, you are loyal to the fault and filled with great love for those around you, caring for them in your own ways, seeing them as both useful to you, as almost a tool, but also that part of you perhaps is just a front. I can see that you have more love in your heart than you give out for. If not, you would not find the bonds with the one that you have chosen matrimony with that is quite unusual for our kinds. And Emil, you find yourself in a place where you are drawn in between a legacy and a mistake, and trying to find a better way in your own life. And you are very willing to assist those that you find as friends or compadres in their endeavors, perhaps as a repentance. But the word in that is repentance. All of you have a humanity to you. Perhaps that is why you are good. Because you hold on to a spark of humanity, as a beast gnaws at your soul and mind.
Holding on to our humanity does not give us the strength to... If one such as you decided they wanted the child, there is naught we can do to stop them.
Do you think Annie, such as myself, would interfere? Only 4 of us knew of her and her existence. Markov will not speak. The Watcher will not speak. And Ventru is long gone from this place. I myself have other tasks to attend to. This is only one of many of mine in this world. My master
power
still...
not become apparent?
Her power will certainly become apparent. That is not an issue. The issue is whether or not she uses that power greatly or incorrectly. As she grows, as her mind develops, so will her strength. Now, it is not merely just a faucet that has only been turned on to drip. You must teach her to open it wide, but only at the right moments. She will have abilities and powers far beyond anything our kind has had before. She is new. She is different. And none of us know how she will affect this world. She will either, as was predicted, bring about the end or a new beginning. That is why we all waited. Because back then, the time was not right. The tensions and Zilla's warning. She knew her end was coming, and she knew she had to wait. She did give me an option, though, to judge the man that would come to me, the man with the shadow on and his friends, and make a decision about you. So you've not been judged by just one of the guardians of this place, but 2. I saw you in your quest for the chalices. I purchased something from your auction. At least attempted to purchase plenty of things. If I had gained the chalice, it would have been an end to it. But your resourcefulness is perhaps another thing that would be helpful.
Small vial of a red substance. What was it?
Blood. Not the one you originally seeked here, but an old one.
What did you acquire it for?
Things like that are best left out of the circulation nowadays. I was asked to acquire it, and to make sure that it was not in the hands. The chalice was merely an extra, possibly. There are things about which are always dangerous. Beings that could alter the course of the world. They hide in the shadows constantly. Most of them, such as myself, are found doing nothing, such as Caine himself. He has not been seen for thousands of years.
Except by you.
Well, that would also be a lie, I should say. Plenty have seen him. None have recognized.
Why is he not the one guarding his own daughter? Surely, given his love for Zilla and hers for him, he bears love for his childa?
Caine is a thing of non-life. He is the antithesis of living. Where he goes, life wilts, dies, slowly but surely. He cannot stay in a place for long. Some kin of his, some of your fellow kindred, perhaps suffer from it. Plants slowly wither around them. Animals find them disturbing. That has always been Caine. A being that is both alive and dead, what do you think the result would be to be around him for very long? Thousands of years.
So, he just watches then.
Caine always is watching all of you. I do not know exactly what he sees and what he knows, how much he understands each individual, feels them all. Is it similar to Malkov in his connection to all of his kindred? Is it something greater or different? I cannot say.
Could you perhaps call him the Watcher?
No. He watches in a different way, as I said. He is not the fourth of the guardians of this place.
You say we've been judged by two, but given that I highly doubt we made it here and are going to be the guardians of his daughter, without his knowing, it feels almost like we've been judged by three.
The one that watches will keep an eye on you, I believe. Perhaps to correct if it seems like there's been a mistake made.
Sounding much less like a 33% chance of failure, or chance of success, and more like a make sure you have the right intentions and do what you're expected to do.
Honestly, if Malkov gave you chances, let me explain this. The one that watches will probably not intervene until he feels it is too late, or close to too late. And even if it does, I do not know how it will intervene. It's a question I cannot answer. As for your own results, well, I believe even failure, which would be dire to the world, is something that has been predicted, in a way. Caine knew that this must happen at some point in time. An awakening must occur. Perhaps, rather than all the actions that you've had up till now, I'm just speculating, as I do not know his true minds. Perhaps that's only part of the judgment he's been putting upon you all, since the curses were laid in the end of the second city. Perhaps this test is the next part of it all. And perhaps not just you, but every individual that is met by Zakita will influence that decision. Perhaps 1,000 years from now, Caine will finally make up his mind whether to finally forgive all of us or to punish us all. I think, just like you are punished, he still blames me in a way, since I knew what Zilla saw. But I was sworn to secrecy. My master has never truly forgiven me that way. And I know it. I think all of you do not have that forgiveness. All of this is a test to see if we can be forgiven, to see if all of our kind, the blood of the cursed, can once again find unity. The wars that you fight between you mean nothing in the end, but you will continue to have them, as is the nature of humans. And maybe that's another reason that he doesn't judge you so soundly for the battles, the deaths, because violence is a very human thing. It always has been. The children of Seth, when they fell from Eden, found only war and strife. Well, Zakita is young in mind, even though her body is older. I do not know. I do not know how things will change for her as she grows. Does she age? Does she stay immortal? Is she something else entirely? You will have to find out. I would say you should go now. Your time is dangerously close, and I think your window for escape is shrinking.
Yeah, we should probably get going.
All right.
If we're to be guarding her, perhaps you could just get my partner here off my back about, being all abyssy, shadowy. He's kind of, been up my ass lately. Maybe you could help that out, you being sold as you are. Tell him it's not actually that bad. I'm not about to bring about the end of the world by being a Umber. Wink at Nathan.
Yes, perhaps you could just burn off the arm.
I'd rather you didn't that bit.
Zilla liked the arm. I'll have you know. You didn't meet her. I did.
Come here, man with the shadow arm.
Could look side to side, step up.
You fear the influence of your sire, yes?
Yes.
You wish for safety from it?
I'd also like to continue being myself and, making use of the powers I've held. What's life without a little risk?
Your arm is invisible, yet in the darkness. Perhaps we should change this. He's actually going to put his hand down, kind of look down towards the molten amber, kind of pull it up, and then kind of almost wipe it over your arm for a second. As he says something in a strange booming voice.
I'm just watching.
Where there is shadows, there is also light. You seek to hide this thing that is lost. So perhaps rather than hide it from the light, we make it visible in a way. Look at it, and see what you now see.
Lift it up and look.
It looks like you have a completely normal arm. Perhaps another way of hiding it. It feels normal, like it's a normal arm, but he will say, you go and go, what I have done for you is make things appear as normal. It does not mean the shadows are not there, but they are hidden. They are closed up, a seal, if you will. So rather than fear influence from the abyss, perhaps now you should fear yourself. The shadows are no longer from external source, but from yourself. They are there, hiding in the shadows, in the dark. But you must will for when you need it. But know this, it will be less hidden once you call it forth. It is your own shadows now, not ones from another place. So if you call it out from its hiding place, all will be able to see it.
Well, now that just sounds like fun. You're gonna have, like, not quite a manic grin, but shit-eating. Let's roll the dice grin.
It does not mean that you will not have influence from the abyss. That I cannot remove from you. None can, because it is your blood. But perhaps now the call will be less to the echo of Lysandra hidden there.
Yeah, thank you, Jabal.
It is a minor thing I do for you. And it is not something that is outside of my ability. Now, you should go. As he's going to lift up the girl and kind of just put her into your arms, Leslie. It will perhaps be some time before she awakens. She will need sustenance. Both what you need and what a mortal would need. As I said, she both lives and dies. She is more than just a ghoul, as you would call it. She is something else entirely. And the depths of what that is, you will have to see her for yourselves.
Well, gone with my life.
And for that, you have my gratitude. Know this, Leslie. Know this, Nathan. Know this, Emil. You and your kin, your group, as long as you are protecting Sakita, you will have my sword should the time come.
May it never.
I hope not. It has been long since I've needed to draw up my sword, and I hope it shall be centuries, nay millennia, before I have to again. I'll just put this on. Sakiti. That's how it's spelled. Well,
Oh, man.
It's a
I
kitty.
had- That was close.
Look, it's a kitty.
meow. Meow. Oh, Damien left already. I can't use that.
All right.
I guess I'll carry her out.
All right.
Yes. Let us depart.
Um,
Thank you, Jabal, for this dubious honor.
Your associates on the surface are doing well. I can offer them a little warning to withdraw once you are out. But know this, do not go back the way you came. Stay to the shadows. I'm sure the man who used to have a shadow will be able to cover you, at least long enough for you to get away. You will have your opportunity. Take it. And I sense you will not be alone. The four with you who opened Rolkov's door will help. And I believe some friends of yours may be coming in to swoop in to save the day. Or at least to assist it. Especially since I did call one of them.
Well, thank you for that as well.
Yes. You really should get satellite phones. You go to very strange places in the world, and you really need them.
You know, Samuel usually holds on to it. And he was busy.
Get a couple. I've put something over up top to help boost the signal in the area. That is why it works even down here. Your normal cell phones would not.
From ancient blood to satellite phones. It's a strange time we live in.
Look, you have to change with the times.
Indeed.
Now,
The shadows then, everyone.
yes, good luck. I have shows to watch.
Leslie is actually laughing at this point. He doesn't fucking laugh much, but the absurdity of this entire.
Don't spoil What If for me, please. I haven't been able to keep up to date with the flying.
Of course.
Emil is slightly creeped out by Leslie's laughing.
That's the right response.
Yeah, I think I've heard it twice now.
Yeah.
So you can head back the way you came. And of course, the first to greet you.
Even though he literally just said, don't go back the way you came.
No. He said, go back through the entrance you came from, but don't go back once you leave there the way you came. Implying, don't head towards the car, go the other way. Sorry. I probably like doubled up on that, and that's fine.
I understood that.
But
Once you get to the surface, go the other way.
yeah.
Gather up our crew.
The detective will kind of like look at you, look at her, and be like, truly a strange thing. Would have thought.
He has a name.
Of course she does. But know this. But know this, Herr Nason. Zikiti, the child you have there, has the possibility to become something akin to a demon or a devil, such as myself. Something greater, closer to the fallen angels that I once was. Perhaps, in God's twisted way, this is a test for Caine himself, to see if he could give birth to something that is not cursed and dark. May perhaps, Leslie, the redemption of all of you can be found in that. But I will offer some assistance when needed. And perhaps having a private eye on retainer would not be bad. I've always thought that New York City would be a very interesting place to be at. Yeah? Plenty of jobs to get there?
I imagine I know some people that could find you a nice penthouse to live in, if you wish.
A simple apartment for me. I am not fun for such fancy things. There are plenty of mankind that would. Plenty of both my kinds that would. Well, let's go. You, of course, can then gather up Meredith, who's confused that you have a girl with her. What are you saying to Meredith?
I'm just gonna be like,
This is my daughter. Sorry for all the smoke
And mine.
mirrors. Also his, yes, technically.
I think your mind is
Partners. Sorry for all the smoke and mirrors.
But powerful child could destroy the world, apparently, if in the wrong hands. Apparently, that's what we came for.
There's just this blank stare for a bit, and she's just gonna turn, start walking. Then let the door close.
Remind me, how old is she? She's like 19.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly speaking, Zakiti is probably physically maybe like 19. And...
I mean Meredith.
Oh yeah, Zakiti is too. Like physically, she's probably like late teens, but also like you do not know how long she was basically in a stasis in that amber.
Yeah. I'm just picturing like Meredith, 19-year-old, couple months ago gets introduced to Supernatural, and now she's seeing all of this.
It's been a weird extra couple of months.
Meredith. I think she might need a friend.
And I could, in all honesty, use some advice on being a parent to a 19-year-old girl. Never done this before.
Is she actually 19?
We'll go with that.
Good question.
All right. Look. I'm guessing
you want
you're
to hang around after this.
I'm guessing you're going for a. You have found a very powerful being that could either be very human or very not human. I'm gonna guess for this. Movies have said this is probably what's going on. Is that right?
You
Yes.
know?
More accurate.
Great.
Yeah.
I guess I can help teach humanity to your very powerful, dangerous being. Let's get out of here.
Just don't introduce her to any boys. I will have to scare them off, and I'm rather scary than I want to be.
His palm isn't it?
He's saying this completely straight face. I can be rather terrifying when I need to be.
Lapis is not going to ask any questions. Yeezy's going to be like, "Yo, what are you doing picking up a chick in the dungeon?"
Growl. Literal growl. Looking at, staring, growl.
Okay. I understand. Sometimes you just need to find a girl in a dungeon. As he's gonna look confused, when he says that.
There's an anime that I think you should watch.
Yeah, it's an anime. I knew there was something about that.
There is indeed an anime that's all about picking up chicks in a dungeon. There really is. Anyway. You'll get out to the surface, start making your way away, as there is seemingly, some kind of battle going on. A lot of gunfire, some explosions, some crazy shit happening, some helicopters around, and...
Are there giant cockroaches in the sky?
Well, Ryan's with you. Remember, he was staying with the detective. Ryan hasn't said anything about this. Remember, 99% of the time, he just goes along with this shit.
No, I was talking about
He's a good
other
friend.
flying cockroaches.
Oh, not right now.
Okay.
No, instead, as you're you're finding your way out of the ruins, seemingly kind of I'm guessing Leslie's doing some shadow tricks and stuff. one of the helicopters seemingly will move in and put some lights onto your area, and then, kind of as you're kind of like, the only one basically able to see out of those shadows, which is now being very noticed, is of course Leslie. As you see, dropping a rope down from a helicopter is Dawn.
Oh my god.
That's the other way out.
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
I'll drop the shadow. No, I'll maintain it around us and just guide people to the rope.
Okay.
How the hell am I getting up?
I'll just pass her to me, and I'll just potence my way up the rope with one hand.
I was handed her. This is my daughter. I'm the last one up. I'm gonna tie it around my chest.
Mm-hmm. And just
Leslie,
be drug up, yeah.
Yeah.
You can buff your strength with blood.
Yeah, I can do it.
Uh-huh. As you get into the helicopter, Dawn and Samuel will greet you. And then Samuel will be like, yeah, it was cool. I don't know this, but Wick learned how to drive a helicopter.
Of course you
The
did.
rat's flying the helicopter right now.
Oh, yeah.
How the fuck is the rat flying? Never mind. Never mind. Never mind.
He's
Well,
good.
I imagine the
He appears to have a
crocodile's
long
working the
stick
pedals.
to affect.
No, the crocodile's probably helping with the pedals.
Oh,
Of course. Yes.
I was actually going to say, if I can remember his name, since it hasn't come up in forever, Lars, yeah. Lars can, adapt the controls. Pretty cool. As, if you want to look, there's this, in the seat, there's, a smaller seat built in, with, a smaller set of controls, and a tiny rat at them with, a helmet on.
Thanks, Wick.
Because you can't understand, only, two of you can understand him. Because I guess Emil can understand him.
I can.
Yes. No problem, bosses. We gonna rock out of here.
And the B team saves the day once again.
The B team.
B team.
Leslie,
We're just insane enough to make it work.
Mhm.
Leslie, I have one final question for you.
And what would that be, dear?
What is love? Baby, don't hurt me.
I'm gonna throw you out that fucking door.
And the scene cuts with
we kind of cut the scene
with,
there.
With Wick flying us away.
Yeah, with Wick flying away. You guys taught him how to do a car. He had months. So we also had to learn how to do a helicopter.
paid for his pilot's lessons.
What do you mean?
Who gave him a driver's license in the first place? Someone gave the brat a driver's license in the first place.
What do you mean who paid?
He took
I think it's obvious.
He
We got one who is uber rich, and we've got one who's rich. He's covered.
He took online classes. Remember, he was a
Samuel stole my
rat,
credit card.
a rat ghoul who soaked all of his ability score ups into intelligence, so he was probably smarter than some of your team. He learned. And rats have those little hands.
Oh, Jesus. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on this wonderful shit show.
So, we kind of splash forward then, a little in time. As a young girl is being taught maybe to be a little human, maybe to understand a little bit of what she is, but, the actual result of this is not really for our story.
She's definitely learning shadow abilities. I'm telling you that right now.
Emil, you find yourself in an interesting predicament as, honestly speaking, you kind of found the apocalypse that your group, that your sire was looking for. what you're gonna do with it, well,
I mean, at this point, it's fairly clear. This is not the apocalypse. See, that's the thing is, this is not an apocalypse we should influence in that way. That's Emil's opinion. It's not something that should be influenced. We should not tailor this child to create an apocalypse. We should tailor this child right and let her decide if she wants to create the apocalypse.
and
That's
Oh,
Emil's
you bet
opinion.
your ass she is getting tailored.
mhm. Of
Only
course,
the finest clothing for our daughter.
my two dads and a mother, because of course Candy end up with Nathan. Best
What do you mean
dad.
two dads?
I mean Leslie and Nathan. Oh, my three dads and two moms. Oh my four dads and two moms.
Yeah.
Actually, isn't it five? Because you got Ryan there too. Well, actually, at this point in time, I kind of think like, Ryan will definitely stay in touch, but he's gonna kind of like take up his place. You know, kind of like rebuilding his people, maybe building a little bit more of a life.
That's true. And Samuel probably goes to help them too.
Yeah. And of course,
Hey,
maybe you start up a branch of your gym over in Chicago. There was talks about doing that.
yeah, I probably can't put that off forever.
Mm-hmm. And that's kind of in Ryan's wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Leslie, you will eventually hear from your sire.
Where's my goddamn child support?
It'll be more like interesting.
Another letter on a bed?
Probably.
It'll be very simple. A little bit more of like informing you that he has come forward to assist with the negotiations with the Camarilla of getting Tally and his group out, and successfully doing that. As things change with the various organizations, the Anarchs become a much stronger group as groups like the Bruja join with them and some others. The Camarilla will strengthen its own ways with the advent of the true Bruja and the chunk of La Sombra. The Sabbat will, of course, continue to be Sabbat, as there are still La Sombra left with them and other groups. They've taken a hit, but fortunately they managed to continue. Things don't change a lot in the greater world, and all of you are left to be in charge of a young girl who's up for learning and slowly learning.
Wow, that's not creepy.
But
Yeah, a teenager wanting to learn, Jesus.
teenagers are wanting to learn and understand.
No. I mean, given a 19-year-old girl who's supposed to learn to the guy who runs a gym that's a executive whorehouse.
It's technically also a gym. Technically.
Yes.
Come on.
Hey, look, it's the kitty.
It's the kitty. But the last thing we kind of end out with is Nathan. You're coming on your way back from a trip from your private plane from Chicago, actually, for dealing with your businesses. It's fresh in the evening, and unfortunately there was some kind of like mix-up, and it's going to be a couple of hours before any kind of car comes there. And unfortunately, at the time of night it is, rental place isn't open, but there's a cab there.
Does it have a funny symbol on the side?
Does seem familiar, this cab. It looks like a little bit like the ones you've seen somewhere before.
Does it have that same weird sign that Samuel texted me a long, 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 long time ago?
Maybe. A gruff-voiced man behind the thing will be like, "Where are you heading to? You need a ride?"
What are you selling?
Well, you gonna hop in or what? We're heading downtown, I assume.
I could not hear that for the life of me.
We're heading downtown, I assume.
My daddy told me never to play with strangers. I appreciate the offer, though.
What are you doing?
I'm gonna turn and start walking on my own.
The cab will kind of like come up a little bit behind you. Kind of like move up to your side and stop for a second, and you kind of go like, "Cold night. Sure I couldn't introduce you. I'd feel awful just leaving someone walk all the way back. Anywhere. If not, it's fine. We all have places to be. Just wanted to offer help. I happened to be here, and it looked like you needed a cab."
Sure. I'll get in the back seat.
Address?
I'll give him the address of the building down the street from the gym.
Mm-hmm. I've seen you before, haven't I?
Likely.
Philadelphia, wasn't it?
Not sure. I've been to Philadelphia.
Don't mind me asking. You guys were kind of crazy back then. Had a lot with you. Bunch of you. When you looked injured. Everyone all right?
Not sure to what you refer.
Sure that was you. Anyway. I'll get you where you need to go. And you drive the building. We're here.
Thank you.
Gladly.
How much is
Sometimes,
the fare?
on me this time. There'll be plenty of opportunities in the future.
Son of a bitch.
Look out for yourself, Nathan. As he drives off. And we end it there.
That's Caine! That's fucking Caine!
Wait. You guys didn't recognize that the moment the cab drove up?
Yeah,
No,
I
that
just
was
don't
so
remember.
fucking long ago.
I just don't remember meeting him in Philadelphia.
I don't remember if it was Philadelphia. I might have made a mistake. I forget where I had it. I had it like right at the beginning of the first episode.
It would have been Philadelphia.
God damn long ago.
Uh-huh. But we'll leave it there! The end of Legacies of Caine. And you actually found out what the hell the Legacy of Caine was, really.
Oh, yeah, it was a literal Legacy of Caine.
Yeah.
And what legacies they are.
I was sitting here trying to remember when we all got in a cab or something.
It was the first episode.
Yeah, it wasn't when I was in. It just clicked at that last moment. It's like, I watched that. Fuck, that was Caine. Episode 1, you son of a bitch.
I do prescribe to the, if you ever meet a mysterious cab driver in any Vampire the Masquerade, especially because of the Bloodlines game, it's probably Caine. He's watching out. I mean, there's got to be some way you're driving around watching things out. No better way to keep an eye on things.
Leslie absolutely spends however long being like #1 dad. This girl is now his priority. He's looked into how many different paths of humanity through this entire thing. He found one.
Mm-hmm. The dad entity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That girl is gonna be as safe as somebody could possibly be.
Yeah.
So, funny story.
Yeah.
Stand on top of a bright stone. Council of men around you, looking to you advice, looking to you for leadership, knives pointed at your back, jealousy in their eyes. A choice whether to be grand or to fall.
It's all...
That was your prophecy from Quistamala.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's figuratively there. There is literally a group of people staring at you, judging you, knives at your back.
Yeah, because if you fuck up, I'm coming after you.
We can finally have the Ventru versus La Sombra. Let's go. Dad be dad.
I think I got most of the prophecies kind of in there in a form. I tried to.
Also, she's learning how to hunt and taking her on hunting trips.
Mm-hmm.
If she doesn't want to be seen, she's gonna be sneaky as fuck.
Whatever she learns is definitely not for this kind of thing to determine. But the last thing I will say, because there are plans for the future, a painting will fall into the hands of one walks on Earth.
I don't think that's his name, though.
Was it like treads the ground or something? You made so many.
We made up a couple different variations.
There's so many variations.
I don't think that I've doubled up on one yet.
No, you didn't, which was really good. You did a very good job of not doubling up on that guy. Like every time it was a different bad joke for that guy's poor name.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was good.
I'm pretty proud of myself for that one.
Meanders the path.
That was one of the good ones. Meanders the path.
Oh, I thought I just made that one up.
I think it sounds like one that was there. It could be a new one. I don't know.
It might have been a mixture of meanders and path, and they just
I think both of those were individually used, but
yep.
Thank everybody that stuck with us this entire time. It has been a hell of a road. It was a lot of fun. Got to do a lot of interesting things, visit a lot of interesting places in the world of darkness. And
we heisted a gorilla from a zoo.
Stole a staff.
my first story arc.
Mm-hmm.
We jumped out of how many windows?
A lot of them.
Only like 3 or 4.
I got 3 or 4.
That's more than most people.
Visited like 24 countries. Held an auction in Hawaii that didn't go terribly.
Not for us,
Hot
anyway.
Antediluvian.
Met a bunch of them.
Met a bunch of them.
Mm-hmm. Found out that, like, again, like, the world is a lot smaller than it always seems. Like, the boogeyman of the Antediluvian is, like, not... There is some boogeyman-ness to it, but there's also a bunch that's not, honestly. Especially when you've met Arakel. She's
Arakel's awesome.
She's the chill as fuck one. You know.
Arakel's definitely one Leslie's like, hey, you want to hang out?
I mean, honestly, if you visit Greece, she'd probably be okay with that.
Yup.
But why don't we have
Let's
one
see.
final go around for where to find people, etc., as we end our epic tale with Carpe.
Oh, you can find me insane.
That's true. I'm not denying that one.
No, I'm starting to think about streaming something soon. Probably once I get done with this new job. It should end around Thanksgiving.
And of course,
Big Star just came back.
What? Oh, Plague Star, yes.
Wait. Yeah.
Oh, I know. I've been keeping on top of that stuff. I just haven't been able to play. I am desperately trying to get Gar up Prime. Because Gar is my baby. And I'm looking forward to playing this because that's going to be fun.
I only know it's Warframe because the two of you talk about Warframe. Anyway, Worm.
You can find me on twitch.tv/Diamondwyrm and @Diamondwyrm on Twitter. I will probably stream Warframe sometime tomorrow, although not at my normal time because I have to take my parents to the airport.
And of course, Umber.
You can find me sitting on the porch, cleaning my shotgun menacingly and staring at any boy that figures he's going to try and get with my dog.
Yup.
Except you're raising her in the north.
Shh, quiet. And in New York City. Shh, quiet.
And in New York City.
I will make a porch that I can sit on to clean my shotgun.
Hey, other daddy, can you make me a porch so I can sit down and clean my shotgun? Done. But there has to be an extra rocking chair.
2 dads cleaning shotguns.
Sounds about right.
Well, and another seat for whoever I'm going to have clean my shotgun for me.
Ah, of course.
You know,
And you have to wear a cloak.
I'm not wearing a cloak. We can do this for centuries if you wish. There will be no cloak. I wear a suit, a nicely tailored suit.
You can wear
Like a
a suit
fine gentleman's
and a
suit.
cloak. If no cloak, no front porch.
I'll just find a different way to embarrass our daughter.
Oh, you were looking for ways to embarrass her. I thought you were just looking for something fun to do in the afternoons. I think we can. I think we can figure out something.
Perfect.
and then, though none of them could have joined us, I do want to give a shout out to the 3 other players that have helped make this game what it was. I do want to give out a shout out to Tiv. Unfortunately, with his situation, he can only join us for a little bit. It was great having Eric with us. Fun to have a little Malkavian action there for the little fart part of it. Big shout out to, of course, Dunce with Samuel. Samuel was wonderful.
It was hilarious.
He just added a wonderfulness, and I will always remember attacking a police force with badgers in England.
Yep.
And then definite huge shout out to Jess, Dawn, who played Dawn. She did a awesome job with Dawn. Dawn was fun and wonderful, and I think if it wasn't for Jess persevering through a large chunk of this before things changed with her and her couldn't join anymore, really, that, it's just like I would have loved to have Dunce here at the end, but his internet wasn't good enough. Things were just in a situation for Jess that she couldn't join.
Unfortunately, Dawn couldn't come one last time.
Had to be one more.
And it wasn't me.
It wasn't.
No. Oh, I'm gonna miss this.
Tomorrow, 9 p.m. EST, Children of Wrath. My D&D game set in Dominaria, the Magic the Gathering world. That'll be on. Saturday, 2 p.m., discussing tabletop. Get some guests on. We'll talk about some really cool stuff. Check it out. Approximately, it should be 2 weeks from now. 8 p.m. is going to be the start time for it. A new game is going to be on this day. Wednesdays. Going to start at 8. It's going to be a pirate game, and we're playing 1st edition Pathfinder. So I hope everybody's good this. And there will be another Advent of Darkness story in the future, so expect that at some point. I'm probably... After this one, I think I will take a little break from World of Darkness, honestly speaking, and come back maybe like a half a year time, you know, to visit it again. I love the World of Darkness, but we've had hell of an adventure. So
It's Werewolf, you're inviting me back.
I don't know if I want to do Werewolf or Changeling next. Honestly, I want to do both of those. I want to eventually do a Mage one, but that's really hard, so it might be last. And I don't know if I want to do any other ones. You know, I am planning for like 4 or 5 Advent of Darkness stories. For
Whatever you want for Changeling, but Werewolf, invite me.
Mm-hmm. I'll keep that in mind, definitely. So
Keep me in mind for Mage.
definitely.
Mage would be fun as well, but I'm more excited for Werewolf. If I had to pick
I
only
just
one,
want to play more Leslie at some point in the future.
Honestly speaking, there might be a crossover event at the end of all the Advent of Darkness stories. I've considered it. That's why I don't know if I'm doing 4 or 5 and then doing it. It's gonna probably be way into the future, honestly, at this point in time. This one took what, like 3 years to complete. Hopefully, the next one will not take
Almost
3 years.
exactly.
Will
Look,
not.
I don't care if I'm
take-
50. I will play Leslie again.
We'll find out. But anyway,
If I'm 70, I'll play Leslie again. He might sound a little different, but
so
But probably not.
probably not.
thank you everyone who joined us for these massive, insane trip that we've been on. I hope you join me in my next RPG adventure. If you haven't checked out any of the other ones, please do it. Please check out the next one. Check out all these great people. All the links to everyone. The only one that I removed was Tiv, because I removed him long ago, unfortunately. But, you know, I don't know if he
I
doesn't...
want to interrupt you here, Tantus.
Sure.
Because I want to thank you for running an awesome game
Yeah.
that continued for 3 friggin'
3
years.
fucking years. In case anyone's missing it, sometime in September of 2018 this started.
Yup.
Full 3 years,
This one...
and this game finished.
Yeah. I honestly, there were a lot of times I didn't know if it would. There were a lot of times I didn't know it would. But we managed.
Yup.
We
It
persevered.
was a hell of a story.
Pretty awesome story.
Thank
Oh
you.
yeah.
Glad everybody liked it. I love people out there love it. So, anyway, until the next thing I do World of Darkness related, and until the next thing I do with these people, farewell everyone. Bye.
Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.
Um,